Is Vyse the last missing Radivore that we keep on hearing about and getting teased on? This has been a topic for discussion for a while now, and I think now that Vyse has been out for quite some time, we can go ahead and conclude to a certain extent that yes, Vyse is in fact the Radivore that was missing. The real debate surrounding Vyse wasn't so much whether she was a Radivore or not, it was instead whether she was the missing Agent 8, until we started getting teasers and hints that she could be the missing Radivore. Then things started to shift and we became divided on whether she's Agent 8 or a Radivore. And of course the possibility of her being both was also there. Now that we have a lot more information on Vyse, along with her voice lines, player cards, and more, we know for a fact that she is not Agent 8. This was basically confirmed by Riot themselves through the design of her player card, which literally has her agent number on the bottom, 26. I don't think that we'd be misled this far into thinking that she's not Agent 8 when she really is, so I think that it's safe to say that it is confirmed that she's simply Agent 26. But the one thing that's not really confirmed that we do have a lot of information on is whether she is a Radivore. And I've come to the conclusion that yes, she is. The reasoning behind this is pretty simple and obvious. We know that on Sunset there's a message about the missing Radivore, subject ZN35, who has escaped and can take the characteristics of Flora. We know that on Abyss, the Scions were holding a prisoner and running tests on them. We know that a metallic flower, which was being tested on by the Scions, was extracted from this prisoner on Abyss. And now we know that this prisoner was Vyse, who has plant-like abilities and has the facial characteristics of an animal. Everything simply adds up. One of her voice lines even highlights an interest that she has on the map Lotus, also known as the City of Flowers.
So much to research here. But here we are. I'm about to fill it with bullet holes.
Considering how her powers involve plants and flora, it makes sense that she would be interested in researching a city completely covered by them. And I'm going to go back on what I said in my previous video about Vyse not being part of Kingdom. It turns out that she actually does have a lot of backstory to Kingdom. But before I get into that, I want to tell you guys about my new line of PCs with Apex Gaming PCs. I had been playing on a crappy PC and even a gaming laptop for many years and it was horrible. It's not as fun and you're constantly dealing with FPS issues and you simply can't get better. I have my own streaming PC now and I'm still shit, but I actually enjoy the games I play and I'm able to do everything I want, just like make these videos for you guys. For those of you not too techy with PCs, the Apex Streamer comes with a Ryzen 7 5700X CPU and a 4060 RTX graphics card, which is plenty for running games like Valorant, CSGO, Minecraft, VR, and streaming them yourself. If you think you want to get an even higher end model or a lower end, there are several options. And don't worry, financing is available so you don't have to buy it all upfront at once. You can just pay a small amount each month until it's paid off. And for the cherry on top, you get an additional 10% off when you use my code Nibble during checkout. So please abuse that code as much as you can and save yourself that 10%. Alright, so how is Vyse connected to Kingdom? Well, it turns out that she used to work for them alongside Viper. I knew that the two of them worked together at some point, I just didn't know it was for Kingdom. This is probably one of the main reasons why and how the two of them know each other to begin with. We know that Viper is a chemist and that she specialized in medicine and healing, eventually turning to toxins and poison after a potentially unknown incident. While we don't know exactly what Vyse was working on, I think we can assume that she was a botanist, a scientist who studies plants. And I think this makes a lot of sense considering how Vyse shows an interest in researching Lotus, as well as her powers taking on the shape and form of vines and flowers. It's even possible that she may have had her own team back then, probably like a team of scientists or something. But the reason I say this is because Vyse sees herself as a leader. She has several voice lines challenging Brimstone as a leader himself, but also calling herself a leader as well. Where she got this sense of leadership from is currently unknown, but we'll find out eventually in the future. A cool theory of Vyse and Viper that I have comes from her voice line telling Viper how they saved the world once and that they can do it again.
We saved the world once, Sabine. I don't doubt that we can do it again.
It piggybacks off the idea that Vyse worked as a botanist for Kingdom. Since Viper worked as a chemist and specialized in healing and medicine, we know that historically a lot of medicine and health remedies originally stemmed from plants. Maybe Vyse and Viper worked together on creating medicine as a team, leveraging off each other's skill sets. And we know that in Viper's past there was a tragic event that occurred, and I'm thinking this is separate than what happened with her and Omen, which resulted in her turning to poisons and toxin. It could be possible that around this time of the event, Vyse was also involved or had left Viper aside. Since I'm assuming the two of them worked together to create medicine, maybe Viper could no longer do this without her partner, not resulting in her turning to poisons and toxins, but just adding on to it. And the final piece of missing lore that I want to cover is the timeline of Vyse's transformation. When did Vyse become a Radiant Radivore? The singular hint that we have is on one of her player cards. In it, we see Vyse on the floor with an outstretched hand as if she's pleading for mercy. In front of her is a burning building and several members of the Scions of Hourglass destroying the place. We already know that Vyse feels hatred towards the Scions and wants to get rid of them, and this player card helps us understand a little bit as to why. We just don't know where this place is in the player card or when it took place. But a good piece of detail to note is that whenever it was, Vyse was already a Radiant. Just by looking at her outstretched hand, we can see that it gives off an aura and that it's not normal, telling us that she was already a Radiant at this point in time and possibly a Radivore as well. She's also one of the few agents who don't have a nationality just like Omen and KO, so it's interesting to find out what her backstory is like. And if you guys are interested, on September 12th, there's going to be a Valorant dev talk on Valorant's Discord server where the devs will talk more about Vyse and her lore. Don't worry if you guys miss it, I'll be sure to cover the whole thing and anything interesting that I find. Let me know what you guys think about Vyse so far in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.